Hi, and welcome to Credential Manager. Today we're going to talk about activations. I'm going to share with you how you can activate websites in Credential Manager. Remember that the whole idea behind Credential Manager is to have the ability to centralize your credentials, your blogging credentials, your links, your banner codes, your embed codes, your email associations, and there's even a start page link for the exchanges that you can configure inside of your Credential Manager. So let's go ahead and get started. I want you to look at the screen right now, and you're in the Credential Manager area right now. However, this user has not activated any services at all. As you can see here, it says no service found. And what that means is that no activations have actually taken place. So there's a couple of different ways that you can activate a service. You can click on the add a website if you know the domain of the service that you want to add, or you can go to the non-activations area to see all of the websites that are already in the system that you can activate. So Google is already in the system. So we're going to go ahead and activate Google right off the bat just by going to the non-activations area. You'll have a block that says non-activations, and the way you can get there is by clicking on the non-activations link from the tick down, or you can come down here on your member menu where the lock is unlocked and go to non-activations. The way we find Google is it's inside of here. Notice that it says services non-activated 585. What that means is that there's 585 websites in here. They're just waiting for you to activate them. And the way you do that is by clicking on the down arrow. That'll bring up the menu that you see here. And I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but it's in alphabetical order. So Google is G, so we'll just go to the G's. And we're almost there. Okay, so let's go ahead and highlight Google. Notice that Google came right in. We've got a plus Google. We can display the record, and we can visit the site. So let's go ahead and click on this button right here. See where it says plus Google? When we click on that, the managed credentials for Google actually comes right up, and we can start by the name box is what you're going to name the login. This is in case you have more than one login. So I'm just going to name it login. Then the username, I'm just going to put in a username. And then for password, I'm going to put password. And if you want to, if you have a referring process or an affiliate process, this is where you'd put in the referral URL or the affiliate URL. You can also put in any link here. So if you have a profile for Google, then you might want to name it profile, and then put in your profile URL. I'm not going to put in a real profile. I'm just going to spell out the word profile. Okay, so there we go. So now we've got a referral URL in there, and the email is the email address that you have with. So I'm just going to make it up a Gmail address, and I'm going to put it main email. So now I put in all of my credentials, and you don't have to. We'll do another one, and I'll show you that you can just. So that was Google. Notice now it says 584 non-activated sites. Remember before it said 585. That means that we've activated the site. So let's go ahead and activate another website. Let's say that we have a Google AdSense account, and we just want to activate it. So we just go ahead and click on the red plus button. we're not going to put in any credentials because you don't have to. It's just, I mean, if you're here, you might as well. So now it says 583, and we've activated it. So now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to refresh the screen. See, it says services activated too. It says Google, and then we have buttons now that we can use to deal with Google. We can edit the Google record. We can display the Google record. We can visit the website. We can log into Google, and we can deactivate it or delete Google from our activations, and we can favorite it. And favorite is where you have your favorites page. But I'm just going to be talking about activations. Now, before I had mentioned that you could use the add a website if you wanted to activate a website. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now so that you can see how that works. It's pretty easy. There's really nothing hard about either one of these two options. Notice here that we have an add service form, and all we want here is the actual domain. So I'm going to do Credential Manager, because you will want to activate your Credential Manager website. And the reason why is because you have links that are associated with Credential Manager. You've got a login, you've got an email that you may want to keep track of, or that you may want to know what they are at some point. Obviously, you're already logged into Credential Manager if you're here, but it does give you a way to recover or to retrieve the information that you may want. You may be, a blogger. You may be doing events. You may be referring your profile. And all of these are a little bit hard to remember because they're fairly long links, especially a blog, and even the profile is not easy to remember. So now we've entered the domain. We just put in the domain. Remember, notice there's no www or HTTP or any of that. Just the domain dot whatever. In this case, it's credentialmanager.co. I'm going to click on the check domain. Now notice that the site name came in. The reason why is because Credential Manager is already in the system. So I'm going to key in what I did before as an example. So we key in username. And again, you don't have to put in credentials, but you're here, you might as well. And we'll put in our password later. I'll show you something in a bit. So we got Credential Manager. We're going to save the credentials. Now it takes you right back to the add a service form, and the reason why it does that is because it's assuming you may want to add another domain. You can always click the back button to get back to your thing. Notice that it says 2. That's because it went back. It didn't refresh. We need to refresh in order to see that. See, now it says 3. And it starts with Credential Manager because it goes in alphabetical order. So C is before G. And if we click on the little down arrow here, you'll see that we've got Credential Manager, we've got Google, and we've got Google AdSense. Let's go ahead and click on this. Click on this. Oh, I didn't put in any credentials for Google AdSense. I was wondering why Google AdSense didn't have any credentials showing. And this here is a display login information. You can quickly make it so that you see your username and password under the for whatever you have highlighted, and even in the drop down as you saw before. So let's get back to activating. And so we used the add a website, and we used the non-activations. And notice I've probably been on this webinar or this little recording for about maybe 5-10 minutes, and so it's pretty quick in order to add services. I personally have over 160 websites that I have activated, and when I initially activated the first 100, it took about an hour. So it doesn't take very long to go through this process. And the thing that's really cool is you have the things that you need when you need them. Let me show you something real quick here. I'm going to show you how to, I'm going to get to the profile for this account. Okay. All right. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come back to Credential Manager. Now I'm going to click on the Edit button. And remember, I told you I was going to put in the referral URL. So this is profile. Then I just right click it, click on paste, and I'm going to put in my member ID. You know what? Let me get out of here. I made a mistake. I'm going to go back to okay, trip app. Okay, 3. So let's go back into editing, profile, paste, push. So now I have my profile with the affiliate process inside my Credential Manager. So if I want to see that, I just click on the display button and notice that the name that I named it is right there. Now I didn't name this one, that's why there's no name there. So let's go back and quickly name that. Call it login. Click on the update button. Notice it looks like it's not doing anything, but it's actually saving it without refreshing the screen. And it just saves it and puts that information in there. And then it kind of hesitates and then it just comes right back. Also notice I didn't put in any email association for this account. Normally I would have. So as you can see, we see the login, we see the profile, we can see the email if I'd put it in, we could see the banner embed code if I'd put it in. We see the category name, the start page link, any tags that we may have associated with this, any notes that we might have. And then down here, we see the who is information. This is important information because it gives you the domain creation date, it gives you the domain registrar, it gives you the domain phone, the domain address location, and you also see when this service was actually created on the system. So it's pretty darned important information. So that's pretty much it. Uh, Notice that this account has activations allowed is unlimited. Uh, if you are a standard free member, you have 25 websites that you can activate, but you can put unlimited credentials in each website. If you have more websites, then you're going to need to go ahead and upgrade. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty much that simple. And I want to thank you for listening to this recording. And I hope that it was helpful to you for adding and activating your websites.